All right, folks, good evening to you and welcome to another date on Journalist Hangout. It's a Friday and the mathematicians are telling us 11 days into 2019, they're counting down, 254 days to go. But let me say quickly, I'm glad, Jide, you made the year.
Yes, just like everyone.
When I was told you survived, I didn't believe it until now. Now I've seen you, so I'm okay.
Happy. I flew in the Mi-35.
Oh, you did?
Yes, and a few days after it came down. But I didn't come down with it, so it's a reason to thank God.
No, it's all right. Tony, I know you can tell of God's graciousness. Yes. In spite of what you did last year.
I don't know that.
Last year was the most exciting year.
Yeah.
This year is going to be more exciting.
Yeah.
Because we're going to survive no matter what prophets of doom are going to say about Nigeria. Nigeria is going to survive this year.
All right. So what are we discussing today? Let's tell you that President Muhammadu Buhari vows to win February the 16th election. Buruji Kashamu surrenders to Adebutu, urges his supporters to work for him. And later on, we'll share this with you. Nigeria and Niger Republic meet in Katsina over worsening armed banditry. I'm hanging out with, you already know, Babajide Kolade Otitoju. Greetings.
Jones.
Formerly, he is Tony
Waje.
Waje. I greet you.
Good evening, viewers, and thank you so much.
Tunde Abaton.
Welcome. Be here again.
Yeah. Okay. The team is ready. I hope you are. Okay then, according to the Chinese general and military strategist Sun Tzu, let me quote him, the supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. As vague as this may sound, it applies to politics where you exploit the weaknesses of your opposition to advantage. Ahead of the first ballot to be cast in the February the 16th presidential election, that's next month, President Muhammadu Buhari says he is sure of victory. Addressing the inaugural sitting of the Presidential Campaign Council for the 2019 elections, the president said, let me quote him, "There's no doubt that victory is with us. It is ours. But that shouldn't mean we should rest even for a moment." He's so sure.
Yes, I think that some things make him feel very confident of winning. After the PDP presidential primaries, everyone was talking about Atiku. Atiku was gaining so much traction. But the truth is, the momentum has dropped. And the momentum has dropped based on so many reasons. The PDP is not doing enough to show Nigerians that it is better than the APC and that it is the party that they need to vote for. There is so much disunity in the party, so much dysfunctionality within the party showing at this time. You see a Governor Wike, for example, he has tremendous resources. He does not want Buhari to continue in office, but he's not doing his utmost for Atiku. You see the sign.
You can guess why?
He's just thinking about himself. It's just about himself. You know Atiku was not his choice in the primaries. He preferred Tambuwal. Maybe it's an extension of the animosity that the primary generated. And then you see a lot of defections happening and all that. Buhari is confident that the Northwest will go his way. He's confident that the Southwest will go his way because after the Northwest, it is the Southwest that, in terms of population voters.
About bulk votes.
Yes, it's the Southwest that is next. It's even actually less than the Northwest is, in terms of eligible voters, higher than the Southwest by less than 4 million votes. Yes. So he is confident that with Tinubu on his side, he will get the Southwest. The truth is, when you look at Atiku, you ask yourself in the Southwest, who are the heavy hitters? Who are the big wigs on his side? You will struggle to find the heavy hitters on his side. You see Anamosun, he does not like Tinubu, they are quarreling. No doubt about it. They may not openly abuse one another, but we know that they are not on good terms. But both of them are supporting Buhari. Well, the same thing that is happening in Imo.
Just say in the Southeast.
Even in the Southeast, you know. People may not actually support the governorship candidate in their states, but they are united that, oh, it is the president that we want to support. And look at what is happening in Ebonyi. You have a governor who is supposed to be a PDP governor, but he appears to be a campaign coordinator in disguise for Buhari. No, and then the governor of Anambra, that one is unpretended in terms of his loyalty to the president. In fact, one of his aides issued a statement the other day showing clearly that he has already started working for the president. So a lot of these things, when the president sits back, he will feel confident that if an election is held today, because tomorrow nobody knows, anything can happen. And this is the way I like to predict. If an election is held today, he feels very, very strong. He feels confident that he can win.
He will nick it. Tony, this is not saying Jide has taken everything you had to say, but mine is this. In politics, you do not win until the war is over.
Yes. Just as he anchored now, he said, as at this moment, just today,
He then dropped
he doesn't know about tomorrow, yeah. So no one can tell, because as we're sitting down here, politicians are strategizing, changing the games. It's a pity because just taking it from where he stopped on PDP and the governors, I'm still coming to APC because we're talking about the president and his, I was expecting, because we have about a month to the election, and we're not feeling it yet on both ends. If the president is so sure, or I know he has something in the basket that is, giving such an assurance. He's the president for 4 years, and he has a lot. He feels he can sell to Nigerians. It's a selling point. It's not asking. It's not. I don't say anything extraordinary because nobody is going into a contest to fail. Everybody goes into a contest to win.
Ask any general.
It depends on.
Ask any general. He goes into a war. He believes he is going to win.
So he has something up his, up his sleeves. That's giving such, guts that he will succeed. And I want to believe it. Maybe he's been the president. This is the 4th year. He has something he has to offer Nigerians. But at the end of the day, it is Nigerians who will decide. But the campaigns, they need to take this campaign to the people. You may have all the achievements, but you need to take it to people. They've not started campaigning yet. I don't know the kind of campaign that is going on right now.
Okay.
If we see this campaign on TV.
They started house-to-house campaign.
Long time. But I'm a Nigerian. I want to see these things being done. Okay. I understand. I read these things all the time. But, campaign should be, take this campaign to the people. We're not saying it yet. Yeah. Both parties, no exemption.
We'll come back to that. Let me share this with you. It has just come in. Embattled Senator Dino Melaye was whisked away a few moments back by masked policemen from the hospital. We'll keep you posted. But Tunde, let me come to this. Go back to the palaver over the election timetable. Would it have changed in anything?
Well, I don't think so. Because actually, if the senators thought...
But you get why I'm asking
the members
this.
of the National Assembly thought that with the National Assembly election coming first and the presidential election probably coming last, like the way we had in 1979, then it will give them the momentum. They thought they had something to offer Nigerians, to tell Nigerians on why the president should not continue. But it will appear that the momentum that we got, the party gathered immediately after the primaries, everything just disappeared. And secondly, the fact that since the last 2 months that we had the primary, the opposition party have not been able to actually come out to articulate any particular policy or program that will convince Nigerians or that will be a threat to the ruling party that a change is about to come.
Even when we heard that over 40 parties teamed up
to join under the CUPP. Yet, there's no bite in the campaign. And I want to remind Tony about something. This year's campaign is being unconventional. Unconventional is in the sense that people are beginning to believe that the amount of crowd you gather at rally does not necessarily translate into votes.
Are they aware?
At the rallies. No, yes.
They are aware. That's why they show the pictures. The politicians, that's why they show the pictures.
Those who are playing, those who are really campaigning. No, those who are really campaigning. Like he said, people are campaigning one-to-one campaign.
People are doing house-to-house.
They are doing house-to-house.
I want them to campaign in my house. That's what I'm saying.
They are being unconventional.
They will get to your house.
I think they are being unconventional. Anyway, where you live, may not necessarily fetch them the amount of votes they are going to get. They are not likely to vote. But they go to markets, they go to unconventional places. You see the vice president going to markets, using the opportunity of the barrier of Fashion.
Otherwise, do whatever you like on the social media.
Social media make all the noise.
There's no ballot box there.
At all. So they are doing the unconventional this year. Even in states, I can tell you there are some states, based on our experience on the social media, there are some states that they don't even want to hear the name of certain people. People who are even in the seat of power. You'll be surprised when you post a story. They are not even interested in reading
nobody
it.
Likes or hates it.
At all. So what it means is that this year election is going to be, put aside a lot of calculations. It's going to destroy a lot of myths.
Jide, mind, I was just wondering if not deploying money from the treasury to campaigns, if it will have a direct effect on the outcome.
You mean who?
We are not, I mean,
if it has already affected.
The president says he's not going to spend any government money on campaigns.
Well, are you expecting him to spend government money to campaign? It's not. You see, let me tell you, the president is not the only one in charge of his campaign. If he chooses not to spend the money to campaign and the governor chooses to spend,
okay.
So he can only talk about himself. He can only talk about himself. And look, the way this thing is, there are many things that the president would want his supporters to not do, because they too know that their fate, their well-being, political well-being, is tied to his success. They may ignore him. They may ignore him and go ahead to do it. He can only talk about himself. Just like when we lock ourselves inside our rooms with our women, what we do, the people outside
and
do
children.
not know. No, the women. Women.
If that's what you have elected.
Children, what are children looking for?
Go on.
That's not what I'm saying. Under the duvet, what are children looking for? Now, the issue is, let's leave even that one. We know that the president will not directly bring money. Yes, go and do this for campaign. What do politicians do? Politicians, even in the US, they will empower their friends, the contractors that they know are loyal to the party. It's those politicians that will bring the money, even in the First Republic. People like this Baba, Rewane, and the rest of them. Yes, they were the real financiers of the party. You know? But the party will extend patronage to them and all that as a way of encouraging them or giving them the enablement to be able to finance. So it's not like you just go and take money directly and give people, you know? So that one is neither here nor there. The APC is doing its best to ensure that it wins the next election. Look at the VP.
Okay, sorry. The president handing over everything to Senator Ahmed Bola Tinubu is a...
Tinubu, as the man in charge of the campaign, reserves the right to draw up a plan of action that will ensure that it delivers. How he does it is not the president's concern. How he moves around mobilizing money because you need it. And when people say they've not seen money, I'm telling you, these politicians know what they are doing. They are saving for that final push. They've learned that the pattern of our elections, has changed. You now need to spend in like 3 days to the election. Vote buying is the in thing. Now it has changed. It has changed the entire calculus because you now have to spend big on election day. Vote buying. Vote buying, every party is involved. So they are saving a lot of money for the final 48 hours.
The real thing.
So if you see them not spending now, it's because they know what they are doing. They are not fools.
The dynamics have
you
changed.
can actually you can become spent before the election day. They don't want that to happen.
Okay.
So they know what they are doing. The VP, when we say the VP is moving, look at a place like Shaki in Okeogun. The VP went there. And you say they are not campaigning? The VP is moving, even they are doing house to house. The other day, the VP moved into a barber shop. He wants to connect with the people. He wants the voter to see him as someone who feels their pain, who is determined to solve their problems. It's a strategy. And now the people are saying, so we can get this close to this man. Oh, that means this man is good. That means his party is the party for us. And when he came out, the person, by the way, the person who gave him that idea that he should go and cut his hair in a barber shop, in a public barber shop, that guy, I give him 10 twalies. Because immediately that deed was done, what did you hear? They started, on social media, the VP was nicknamed Starboy. After Wizkid. You know that
I know,
Wizkid now.
I know.
You know who sang that song? Soccer,
Tony,
baby. You know?
Oh, Yusuf, you know about it.
Starboy go.
No.
You know that song?
All right. Just before I get to Tony, the news is simply this, that the gentleman, Musiliu Akisoya, a.k.a. Oluomo, who is an official of the National Union of Road Transport Workers here in Lagos, is alive and well.
He's not dead.
He's recuperating. He's alive. Tony, so in politics, it is said when your enemy is making mistakes, don't disturb him.
More mistakes to your victory. Yeah.
The more the mistakes,
Yeah.
The better for you.
Close to victory. Like what is going on today, PDP need to up their game.
Yeah.
Just as Judy said,
because we
the
need
VP
a robust,
yeah.
a robust
Now,
game.
I understand what he's saying now in terms of what the procedure or the strategy the VPs using in campaigning. We're used to that kind of campaign, crowded and everybody. But if they can change it, the issue is reaching out to the people, reaching out to voters. I don't know how you're going to do it, but just do it. So if there are ways the VP is doing it for his party, that's kudos to the party. The opposition ought to, give them like a run for their money. A push. But unfortunately, right now, I don't know.
Has it
in the
anything,
Southeast,
has it anything to do with money?
It's possible. Because now the state governors need, of course, they are the engine room of that campaign.
EFCC is watching.
There's this binocular on them.
Somebody say EFCC is the whole
watching.
I remember the other day this cash was, recovered at the airport by the EFCC, and they are still holding it. I read some insinuations. Yeah, that's what.
No, go there.
No. I'm just saying, other angles like that. So people
to not be.
So that's what I'm saying.
So it's a crucial
period.
So
it's very difficult.
We are in a very crucial period.
Yes, they have to spend the money. You don't expect the presidential candidate to spend all the money. The governors need to. I've seen the governors in the Southeast, for instance. I can mention their names, but they are yet to come together. I'm yet to see any of them
this guy
going on
the
TV, campaigning for the presidential. None of them yet. I saw the governor of Rivers State on TV.
It has a lot to do with the way he chose his running mate.
And he's here to,
but in the interest of the party, if you say you are loyal to your party, the choice has been made.
Yes, it has been made. So, and I would have expected the presidential candidate to still go back there, if the issues are still burning, to try and see how to, to solve the situation once and for all, because it will not be good for his, for his candidacy, for his victory at the poll. If he leaves it this way, because it's still boiling and
less than
something
50,
has to be
50
done.
days to go.
Yes, something urgent has to be done.
Ohanaeze Ndigbo has dissociated itself from Atiku. It says it never endorsed him. Does this say anything?
Well, I think it shows that there's a big crack, because if they have to wait till now, the real Ndigbo endorsed the vice president, former vice president.
There's no fake one.
Anyway,
there's no crack.
with this endorsement, it means there's a crack in the wall.
Mainstream.
There's a crack in the wall. A crack in the sense that if somebody like Nwabuse and many others, the man actually went to Nwabuse's house. There was a meeting in Enugu at the Nikele Hotel where they endorsed him, and since then nobody has come out to say they never endorsed him. For the Ohanaeze to come out now, it means there's a crack in the wall. Why should they wait till now if they have not? Out of FNFR, everybody knows that FNFR, there's a crack in the wall. They have been mending this since after Papa Adesoya's death. But this is for the Ohanaeze to have done this thing now.
After that endorsement, there was this outcry in that, from the southeast. I think they are beginning to think again that they made a mistake.
I think what Ohanaeze is doing now is a reflection and it's an outcome of the fact that the governors in the southeast, they felt bad about the way the vice president was picked. It's a result of that action that actually led this one to come out now to say that we have not endorsed him. And it is sending a wrong signal that any governor that is capable or that is interested in spending money must also be cautious. Must be cautious, because the Ohanaeze, whether you like it or not, though elite in nature, there's a way in which their pronouncement will affect an average Ndigbo man, where the vice president intends to get the bulk of votes to counter the president who has the southwest. And the south-south too is divided down the line.
Jide, as we take this home, IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu says no to the election. So is he talking to his people?
No, South is not divided.
No, Southeast.
South.
Okay, no, IPOB. No, I'm talking about IPOB. IPOB is predominant
in the Southeast.
In the Southeast.
It's not the first time that I will issue such threats, and the people will go ahead and take part in the election. Even the last governorship election in Anambra, he said they should stay away. But it didn't stop the election. Yet, yes, the number of young people that naturally should have taken part in the Anambra governorship election came down drastically. But it played into the hands of the governor, because pensioners that the governor was paying regularly, they came out en masse for him. The workers who were not being owed salary, they came out en masse. And at the end of the day, he won the election. So IPOB cannot stop people from stop elections from taking place in the southeast. Those who are loyal to IPOB will stay away, but the preponderance of the people will come out and exercise their franchise on election day. So,
Tony, this is not to say the president should go to sleep.
Oh, no, he knows. Of course, he said, that's why he appointed Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He knows, because politics, till we have about 50 days to the election. So going to sleep now will be suicidal. Less than, about a month from now.
6 days.
That will be suicidal. He knows he's not going to sleep. And that is why yesterday, the meeting they had, the strategy meeting, where insinuation, arose that some governors are not present, but which the party has corrected. The issue is the election, the proper campaign is about to start, so he can't go to sleep. And I learned he said he's going to cover the 36 states of the federation. So he's not sleeping. He knows he can do that. Opposition may not be what we expect them to be, our expectation, but you don't know what they're going to do tomorrow. So I know both sides are strategizing, and I know something's going to happen between now and the
Okay, then we must stop this here, but not before reminding Mr. President and his team, in the words of the Chinese general, he said, the supreme art of war is to defeat the enemy without fighting. Good luck. Now, still to come, Buriji Kashamu surrenders to Adebutu, urges his supporters to work for him. We'll be back shortly. All right, folks. Oftentimes, lessons in politics are very hard ones. You cannot, for example, fulfill your personal ambitions while you are focusing on the plans of your party at the same time. Something must give. Senator Buruji Kashamu, in a surprise move on Thursday, abandoned his governorship ambition. He therefore implored his factional supporters of the People's Democratic Party in Ogun State to support Oladipupo Adebutu, who is recognized by the national leadership of the party. The Ogun East senator had been locked in a battle of supremacy over Adebutu, or with Adebutu, over the governorship ticket of the PDP in the state. They went to court. A mega unity rally is on the cards. But let's tell you, the governorship race in Ogun State is a spectacular one. I see the lineup of some of the guys. Shegun Odegbami, Boyega Isiaka, Senator Anisholo, and so on and so on. So it's an interesting one.
Yes, I can tell you that on election day, my 50% of my attention will be on Ogun State. Because I'm eager to see what will play out in that state. It's going to be a very tough contest. I do not see the eventual winner scoring above 30%. I do not see that happening.
So you expect runoffs?
I expect a very, very close race, a very, very close race. Even the last time, even in 2015, the election was close between the winner and the runner-up. It was close. And the way this is, because of the caliber of candidates on the ballot, you can sense a very, very tough contest. You look at Adebutu. Adebutu is from Ikenne local government, the same local government as the candidate of the APC.
Okay.
The VP that social media people have nicknamed Starboy now. The Starboy is also from
An Ikenne boy?
Yes, from that local government. So you can imagine the contest that will take place in that local government.
Wow.
Alone. Now, Buruji has always done very well in Ijebu land.
That's Ogun East.
Yes. And Ladi's dad has always been strong, a good philanthropist, and a big money man in that Remo area, and he's always done well in elections in that area. So it's a tough contest looking at what is going on. Now, how will Buruji be able to break into Egba land and get sufficient votes there to make PDP carry the day? That is a tough question for anyone to answer, because in Ogun State, 5 local governments determine who he wins at the end of the day.
Oh, really?
And 4 of those local governments are from Central. You know?
That's the
That is
Ijebu-Remo.
the Egba.
Ogun Central.
Egbado.
Ogun State.
Yes, Ogun Central.
Ogun
So
Central.
largely,
Ogun Central, yeah.
largely those 4 local governments, and that's where the man with the cap like a telco mast comes from. But whether the Egba people will go with their son,
This time around.
yes, nobody is sure. What Amosun continues to tell the people, and what Amosun's candidate continues to say is, look, I will continue the projects. I will not start any project of my own until I've completed the ones that Amosun started. That's his campaign strategy. But whether the people of Egba land who believe that this time around they shouldn't present a candidate, whether they will go wherever Amosun chooses to go, is a question that can be resolved in time. But the contest will be a very, very strong one.
Interesting one. Tony, let me come from a different tangent. You know, like every state, mine is, the predominant tribe is Ibibio. And then you have the Anang, and you talk about the Oron axis and so on. Take that to Ogun State. You have Egba Egbado, you have Ijebu-Remo, and Yewa. That part of the state, that's Ogun
West.
Ogun West,
West.
has
Ogun
not
West.
occupied government house. And their son here, in this case, is Boyega
There
Isiaka.
are three. There are
Jenna.
three. Don't let us.
No, one of them.
Don't let us.
Akela
There
is also
are
there.
even
So
three.
prominent.
So-
There are even three because AD is there, whether you like it or not.
Where I'm going is this.
AD is there.
This
APM is there.
turn
GNI is there.
by
PDP
turn,
is
or
there.
if you like, rotational arrangement. Is it healthy for democracy?
It's,
And mark you, it's not a constitutional thing.
well, it's not a constitutional thing, but being Nigeria, the way we've been sharing positions from time, it may not be in the constitution, but for peace and fairness, we need to rotate it. Because a situation whereby a particular zone produces the governor over and over, just like in Nigeria as a whole, you know the situation we're facing, even at the national level, after a while you shift, it will be unfair if a particular zone. I came from Delta State, and I know what you're saying. I know what Ogun State.
You mean you come,
I
or
come
you
from.
came?
I
thought you had left.
you're correct. Point of
Go on,
taking.
go
I
on.
take your correction.
Go on.
I'm from Delta State, so I understand the situation.
dynamics, yeah.
A situation whereby a particular district keep lording it over all the time is not good for development. People will, at a point, people will lose hope.
Let
They
me
will
paint,
feel.
let me paint this picture. I hope it helps your logic. In my state, for the first time, Obong Victor Atta determined it was time for the thing to move from the dominant group to, in this case, the Anang. It went there, and there was bedlam.
For a governor, the majority of them can do that. But for any governor to do that, there must be interest. We know how politicians play their game in Nigeria. And the dispute you have most times is when a governor sits down and decide who
Succeeds him.
Most times it's always crisis. And we are still practicing it over time. And we're expecting that things will change. It won't change. For instance, in Ogun State that we're talking about today, I don't want us to go far from there. Buruji coming back at the end of the day for the party to say, okay, let's do it this way. The case is still in court. I'm not going to withdraw it. But for unity, I mean, coming together.
What does that tell you?
I'm here to, to look at it from another angle. I'm just looking at the angle of bringing peace and moving in one line for the actualization
But the
of a
case
good result.
is in court.
Well, yeah, okay, on that, but the case is in court. For me, there's still something undone, and it shows like a party that is not in charge.
No,
because
it's just waiting. He lost the appeal.
Yeah.
He lost the appeal.
He
And
lost
he's
the
likely
appeal.
to lose.
Yeah.
But for him to say, okay, let's reconcile, I believe the first thing ought to have been done. And that first thing is to
withdraw the
withdraw that
case
case in court,
from court
and then say, okay, let's
that's
move
it,
in
yeah.
one fire. That would make sense to me. But still doing the process he's using is still suspect. But then I believe maybe something could be done. But I will expect at this point for the party to step in. But even the party leadership, the national party leadership is not still in good terms with Buruji, because some couple of weeks ago they were throwing tantrums at each other. For unity to reign in that state, especially in that party, it's time for the national chairman, which I believe is still having
On the
a
day
very
they are
big
going
issue.
to have their mega rally, you will see all of those people. that are
I hope so. I pray, because at the same time, APC needs to get its own act together too in that state. It's a two.
Today, so GD is interested. I'm interested. Ogun is our neighbor, So whatever happens there has a tendency to.
That's his state.
And now you are from there. You are a son of the soil.
So,
So, what are you seeing ahead?
Well, I think, first of all, we have to get something straight. Ogun State has 3 senatorial districts. Ogun West.
every state.
Yeah, like every state. The way I'm saying is that Ogun West, Ogun East, and Ogun Central. Ogun Central has the highest number of voters, and they have 4 local government that determines who wins the governorship. If for local government, Adodo, it's a local government, ASIS, and an arm of Adodo, then Ogun. I mean, Egbaudeda, Abeokuta North, Abeokuta South. All this area, they are very heavy voters. But one thing I want people to take note is that, you see, what will have helped the PDP will have been a final decision by all the combatants within the PDP to sink their differences and present a candidate. But unfortunately, something that is going to happen this year, it will appear from observation so far that the people of Ogun State, they will demonstrate, they are likely to show that they are tired of the two parties, both the PDP and the APC. If they show that they are tired of the two parties may not get it. But what will have helped the Yewa people more is to have reduced the number. They have 3 good candidates now in Yewa. They have 80 picked candidates, the youngest candidate, 39 years old. And they are moving around. You know, this year's election is going to be unconventional. It's not the kind of campaign you will see. Because if the kind of crowd that follow people, if deep pockets is going to determine it, by now, Adebutu will have become the governor of Ogun State. But it's not going to help because the Yewa people have 3 candidates. The Ijebu people, the Ogun East, they have 3 formidable candidates. PDP, APC that is divided into 2. So the dynamics here, this year, Ogun State is going to show how sophisticated they are by taking their decision. But anybody is going to emerge, it's not going to be by a wide margin. All right, it's going to be by a very, very slim margin.
Okay, so we wait for stylistics and classics in Ogun State. I just have one word for Senator Buriji Kashamu, and I'm quoting William Booth, the man who founded the Salvation Army. He said, let me quote him, "The greatness of a man's power is the measure of his surrender." I hope it makes sense to you. Okay then, the need for cross-border cooperation cannot be better accentuated now when armed banditry across our border crossings is stealing the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Security operatives from Nigeria and Niger held a joint meeting in Katsina on Thursday. The parley came on the heels of security challenges facing Katsina State. Nigeria's team to the meeting was led by Major General Olabanji, while Lieutenant Colonel Aminu headed the Nigerian contingent. This comes as a welcome relief to both parties, more so for our country ahead of the February 16 elections. Yeah. Better late than never.
You know, I'm personally pained that this is happening because the government of Katsina State came up with the idea of giving these bandits amnesty. Katsina, they used to kill more people in Katsina than Zamfara. In fact, on the day Goodluck Jonathan campaigned there in 2015, more than 100 people were killed in one local government. But that changed after Governor Masari took over and he set up an amnesty committee headed by the secretary to the government of the state, Dr. Mustafa Inua. They went around, asked for what these people wanted. In some cases, in the bush where they are, they asked for water, they asked for schools. These bandits, and they were given, and the killing stopped.
Are they bona fide citizens of the state?
It is difficult to say every one of them is a bona fide candidate, a resident or indigenous of the state. But we know that a lot of the Fulani who come into Nigeria, who actually are involved in this criminality, they are not Nigerians. I went to see victims of Zamfara killings, and they told me by themselves, I have them on record, that these Fulani who come to kill us, they are not Nigerians, they are not part of us. You know, the Fulani whose hair will be very long, almost reaching their souls. You know those kind of people? You call them whether Buzu or what do they call them? They are the ones who come in here to kill people.
And are familiar with the terrain.
Yes, because they share border with us now. Because they are facing so much heat in Zamfara, the bombings, the strafing by MI-35 and the rest of them. So all those local governments, there are about 8 of them, 8 local governments in Katsina that share border with Zamfara State and share the same Rugu forest with Zamfara and parts of Niger Republic. They suddenly return to criminality. So it is safe to say it is people, the bandits facing the heat in Zamfara who have streamed into Katsina now and are beginning to kill people, they are beginning to kidnap people. So The governor, in his wisdom, felt, what do I do? When we are pursuing these people, what they do is they run into Maradi, they run into Katsina, I mean Niger Republic, through Libya, and other extensive borders that we have. So why don't we now meet with these people so that we can have a work plan? If we are chasing these people, then you deny them refuge. We can catch them. Once both countries work together to nip this criminality in the bud, honestly, we will find peace, because Katsina had done that before. They will catch, when cattle rustlers steal cattle in Katsina and run into Niger Republic, they will be caught. The cattle that they've stolen will be returned to Katsina. So that is what Dr. Mustafa Enoa and co.
So it tells you if there's a synergy between,
honestly,
we
there will
can
be
do more.
peace. And that's why I say, even with our neighbors, with Chad, for example, that has probably the most tested army in the entire West African sub-region. If Chad is ready to work wholeheartedly with us, Boko Haram will be history. Chad is rated as having the 10th best air force in the whole of Africa. So if we can get our neighbors to work with us, tighten their borders, agree that, look, we do not condone criminality, this thing will stop. That's why I'm happy that they've taken this decision to reach out to the Nigerians.
Tony, and it stretches to Cameroon, Benin Republic.
Even part of Central Africa.
Yeah, Central Africa.
That forest,
yes.
When the president came, this multinational joint task force was set up. But somehow I don't think it still exists. And
it exists.
It still exists.
But it doesn't work.
But some of the states, some of the countries seems not to be. It's been funded by Nigeria to a large extent. But I noticed after a while, that would have been the best solution.
So nobody is sniffing an interest here. If they're not cooperating.
If they are not cooperating, it means there's something wrong somewhere. Because it's affecting even those countries right now. When this thing started, we thought it's just a Nigerian affairs. But right now, it's affecting Niger, it's affecting all the neighboring Chad particularly. And the insurgents, they like harbor, they come attack Nigeria from these ends. So the president meeting with the Nigerian president, was it yesterday or so? I would have expected a more elaborate meeting across the borders, Cameroon, Mali, Chad. I mean, if it involves
we can only conjecture. You never can tell what they would have discussed.
So this is even different. Armed banditry, the sort of armed banditry that we are talking about, does not extend to Cameroon.
Yeah, no,
it does Niger,
Niger and Chad, right?
No, it doesn't even extend
just
to Chad.
Niger, okay. So the issue, but then, I still feel that multinational joint task force is still very important. It's still very important because somehow, this is not where we were before, but look at the tactics the insurgents are taking right now. If we keep quiet and say just rely on Niger alone, what if it spreads? I mean, reinvigorating it for me doesn't cost Nigeria anything.
Today, the ordinary conclusion or inference is to say perhaps the Nigerian people are condoning of these people, because if they mean to stem it, it can. We talk about our borders which are porous, and we keep talking and talking and talking about them. I know something can be done.
Well, I think first of all, I think that something has to be done. That Nigeria has to do the unusual. Yes, we talk of a multinational task force, but we have to know one thing. All these countries, Nigerians, Niger, Chad, Cameroon, Benin Republic, they have something in common. I keep on saying it.
French?
They are called French masters, whether you like it or not. Among and between them, there has to be a standing, a standing force that will share information among them and share the areas of cooperation and differences before Nigeria cannot have a standing committee. Because when you look at it now, the multilateral task force that Nigeria set up, Nigeria has been picking the bill. And if Nigeria picks the bill, Nigeria cannot also offer the logistics that will allow us to tame all these things, because logistics is very, very important. When you feed the bill, if they are not ready to provide logistics to Nigeria, we cannot stop banditry, we cannot stop kidnapping, and we cannot stop Boko Haram. So I think it has to be on an international level, both the Nigerian government and the French government, the colonial masters. There has to be something in common. Because if we are not looking at that area, their interest, their multilateral interest is different from that of Nigeria. Unfortunately for Nigeria, we are surrounded by all these countries. And Ghana is a stone's throw away. So whether we like it or not, there has to be a standing multilateral for the president of Nigeria. It doesn't have to be a government alone. I think it has to be a standing policy by the Nigerian government that we have to constantly engage, because it's a question of engaging all our neighbors. There has to be a standing multilateral task force that will nip these things in the bud, because they know how to tackle this thing more than Nigeria does.
Please, if you feel up to it, raise issues, join issues, ask new questions. Jide, with hindsight, we can say we went to Sierra Leone, we went to Liberia, Nigeria played the big brother. Yes. So we must not take the brunt for all this, if you see what I mean.
Nigeria should not hesitate to ask for support. Thinking that you are too big to ask for support is one reason that we have been unable to defeat Boko Haram. Where you need support, ask for it, especially when Boko Haram has found a way to always escape from Nigeria and go into neighboring Niger. And they have active cells in Cameroon, active cells in Chad. So it means that we must find a way to get these people to support us, especially Chad, because Chad knows how to deal with this kind of challenge. You know, because they fought Chadian rebels for years, and they are very strong. Chad is very strong. You saw what Chad did when they went to Mali. You know? So that's why we need the support of Chad. We need Niger to support us to block Boko Haram from coming to our country. But talking about the bandits, because the bandits that we are talking about who are harassing our people in Zamfara and in Katsina, coming back to Katsina now.
That border stretch.
Yep.
It's a forest that stretches, let's say, even from Kaduna right up to Central African Republic. It used to be a trade route, and then a grazing.
Okay, in days of
those
yore.
days, grazing area.
Perhaps,
It used to be a grazing area. Now, the forest is there and serving as a kind of
buffer.
A kind
Shield.
of cover for these guys. There's a local government called Sabwa in Katsina. It borders Gwari in Kaduna State. You know that in Gwari, these bandits were running riot and killing people and all that. So the moment they faced so much heat in Gwari, they moved into Katsina. So this is the problem. When they find that there's so much heat in this area, they run away from there and go to places that are peaceful. So we have to find a way to ensure that they do not find refuge in any part of our country. So as they are facing heat here, they should be receiving it elsewhere, because we've now seen that the people running away from being killed in Zamfara and even Gwari in Kaduna, they are the ones who have come into the middle in Katsina to cause problems for our people.
Tony, we must stop scapegoating the police. It is said, let me lay it on you. It is said an effective policing system will checkmate most of these things, because the internal security of any country is the business of the police. They pick up these intels and they share them. But isn't it time we went back to what the police used to be?
Yes.
It's not late. It's not late.
It's time. But that military mentality still sticks in our brain. We are yet to debrief ourselves and come to the reality that this is a civil rule, this is democracy, where the police, Nigerian police, is supposed to step forward and take charge. We know
the military, can only come when
the police cannot handle it anymore. But I think so far it's been military. Obasanjo came, military, then the present administration. You can see deploying military around the states. That tells you I'm even confused. I don't know if we're still under military rule or we're still in civil rule. I know the function of the army. They are trying.
Stop the confusion here and now.
I'm confused. I'm confused.
We are in a democracy.
It's time to give power back to the Nigerian police. The Nigerian police were made dysfunctional during the military regime. Now that we are back,
trace it back to the Second Republic.
At the end of the Second Republic.
But it was not prominent.
Because
That's from reading from the moment I started reading the situation. Now back into civil rule, would have expected that this is the time for the police to take charge.
Yeah.
From my reading, what I noticed is that because we have military leaders going and coming, they still have that military mentality. And most Nigerians prefer the army to the police. And it's dangerous because if we continue this way, we can just go around the country. You can see, everywhere you go to the station, you can see what the implication of having the military walking the streets
like a militarized environment.
That is what it is, and it's sad. And I hope they listen and change the narrative. The police must step forward and take charge of an internal security.
Tony, it's not too late. Doing the right thing, sometimes you might appear a madman, but go do it.
Well, I think all our leaders have to, previous leaders, right from the end of the Second Republic, they have to shed that particular toga, that ego, that the police have to be demilitarized. I think when you have a functional police system, the military is supposed to come in during a clear state of war. A clear declaration of war by a country.
So the other day when you heard, rightly or wrongly, that the many policemen ran or escaped from, and the ordinary question is that the business of the police to chase terrorists?
Well, it is their business, but they have the police have
military.
Yeah, the police have been demilitarized over a very long period of time, and their attitude over a long period of time have converted the rights they have onto the military. So what the police is supposed to do, the military is supposed to come in when there's a declaration of war.
No, as a final...
As a final arbiter, when there's a formal declaration of war.
Yeah.
But we have dehumanized the police that is supposed to fight that war. In fact, in terms of military intelligence, in terms of intelligence, the police can gather intelligence more than the military. Because the police live among the people. Yes. We should have left the business of gathering intelligence to the police who meets with the people every day.
Gentlemen,
but our bus stop here now, first point of call is the military.
I hope we all remember the statement of retired Superintendent of Police Alozie Ogbugwaja before Justice, is it Babalaki? I've forgotten his name. He said an effective police will put a military coup in the bud.
No, even Alabi Sama said the same thing, that look, that even this war against Boko Haram, before it got to this point, that the police could have stopped it. Yeah. But we have invested so much faith in the army and lost complete confidence in the police
system.
So even our training, the police training institutions, you need to go to them. What is the quality of training? So if we invest our faith in the police, we equip them sufficiently, we improve their welfare, and we put greater accent on training, we will have a police that we'll be proud of, who will be able to handle even this kind of issues, Shiites and the rest of them on our street. They will handle it better without necessarily using live ammunition as the army does.
I hear we must pack it all in here, but gentlemen, we want to say, Jide, welcome back from your holiday. Yes. Have you recovered from it? You have recovered enough?
I feel like a star boy.
Oh,
it's okay. It's okay.
Tony Waji, many thanks for your time.
I feel like the VP.
It's a player.
And Tunde Abaton. Okay, we are done for the week, and please, if you missed this edition, don't miss the repeat broadcast and watch Journalist Hangout on other platforms. We'll show you on the screen now, and on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel remains the same. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Bye-bye for now.